Hello. Today's episode number 44 of the Professor Slots podcast discusses American Casino Guide 2019, a review by Professor Slots. Plus, in this episode, I'll be covering the current state of slot machine gambling in the great U.S. territory of Guam and the great U.S. state of Hawaii. Thank you for joining me for the Professor Slots podcast show. I'm John Friedel, and this is the podcast about slot machine casino gambling. It is where I provide knowledge, insight, and tools for helping you improve your slot machine gambling performance.
John Friedel from the Professor Slots blog reveals all his tips and tricks for thriving in the casino environment. Choose winning slot machines and identify your gambling goals. Being entertained, earning comps, winning take-home cash, or combining them.
In case you missed it, on my last episode, I went over a primer for beginners slots players. Also last episode, I reviewed Florida and Georgia Slot Machine Casino Gambling 2018. I hope you enjoyed listening to my last episode as much as I enjoyed making it for you. Remember to visit ProfessorSlots.com/subscribe to get my free report revealing the top 7 online resources for improving your gambling performance, including the one I've used as a top-tier slot machine casino gambler. Let's start with the first segment of the show, American Casino Guide 2019, a review by Professor Slots. The American Casino Guide 2019 by Steve Borey began in 1992 as a simple newsletter, but has since grown into a powerful gambling resource. This latest book edition has gambling articles, descriptions of U.S. states having gambling, and many, many coupons. Here I am offering the first of my reviews on slots-related books and other resources. I am starting my series of reviews with this book because of the respect I hold for it. I've purchased the next edition of this annual book each year for several years now. In fact, this annual publication is one of my top 7 online resources for slots enthusiasts. But why? Let's find out. This episode segment has the following subsections. 1. An introduction. 2. 17 articles on gambling. 3. Gambling in 41 states. 4. 182 coupons, mostly for Las Vegas. 5. It's more than just a book. And 6. A summary. Steve Borey both writes and edits the American Casino Guide 2019. In this latest edition, his second editor is his son, Matt Borey. Contributing writers continued to be the usual crew for more or less the last 10 years. The first part of this edition includes 17 articles on various gambling topics, written by Steve Borey and the contributing writers. Unfortunately, they haven't changed much, if at all, over the years. This lack of updates must hurt year-to-year sales. Many authors offer sneak peeks via Amazon's Look Inside feature when purchasing a book from Amazon. I couldn't help but notice that this feature was turned off for this book. Perhaps it's to protect the coupons, but it also hides how much this part of the book remains unchanged. Not all articles are the same. Many of these are the same from the 2008 edition, which I happen to own for research purposes. The first 5 articles and last 4 articles are relatively unchanged since the 2015 edition. Of the remaining 8 articles, about 5 are roughly the same. The articles in the 2018 edition are the most different from the last 4 editions, as well as I can tell. I have the 2008, 2015, 2017, 2018, and now the 2019 editions only. The 2018 edition has articles on sports betting, video poker, progressives, and how casinos operate. The 2019 edition drops each of those articles in favor of bringing back updated articles on resort fees in Las Vegas and a second article on blackjack. There is one completely new article on the unrealistic expectations of players of various casino games. It claims to discuss types of faulty logic when playing these games. It is an interesting read, but in my opinion, too many times it portrays opinion as fact. Still, this article on gambling fallacies is correct in many ways. In academics, it is well known that statistics of past events have no actual meaning on future events. That we try to do so, called extrapolating, is our human attempt to apply past results to the future. Yet certainly misconceptions and incorrect beliefs exist with regards to gambling. For example, saying the word 7 before rolling dice at a craps table doesn't affect the outcome of the roll. It'll often change the mood of the table, though. Given my focus on slot machine casino gambling, perhaps I'm being too harsh. when I say the slots information in this article is less than clear. For example, quote, "There are exceptions that smart players should know about," end quote. What exceptions are those? Why and how do they exist? It also mentions randomness from chips within slot machines. The oldest casinos will still be doing that for a while longer, I suppose. American Casino Guide 2019 has a middle section on 41 U.S. states. At 241 pages, it contributes to slightly half of the entire 500-page book. Included are all states with some form of gambling. Each state article has 1, a map of the state with state highways, major towns, and other landmarks like rivers and lakes, and numbered casinos. 2, brief paragraphs on types of gambling offered, legal gambling age, and payout return percentages, theoretical or actual, if available. And 3, alphabetical listings of all casinos by commercial, tribal, and pari-mutuel facility type, if more than one of these. Each casino entry includes the type of gambling offered as well as address and phone number along with the website. Amenities at the casino, such as the number and cost of rooms, restaurant, and buffets, are typical. I was recently listening to episode number 99 from Cousin Vito's Casino Podcast, where Vito was interviewing Steve Borey. There, in part, Mr. Borey mentioned that most of the information found in this section of his book was easy to find using Google search. I hadn't really looked at his book that way before, but it's true. Well, it's certainly true for this half of the book. It is important to remember, however, how valuable this resource was when it first came out 26 years ago. What internet search tools did we have back then? Netscape? Oh, excuse me. The internet was the World Wide Web back then. Fun times, fun times. But I think Mr. Borey just might be wrong. I think it is valuable, or rather can go back to being as valuable as it ever was. Wow, the coupons. This is the value of the book. It is where you can get your money back from purchasing the book. That is, if you visit Las Vegas. Back in 1992, Nevada was the center of gambling in the U.S. Now, not so much. American Casino Guide 2019 has 182 coupons. Of these, 150 coupons are for Las Vegas, Nevada. Another 8 coupons are for other Nevada cities. 9 of the coupons are for car rentals and upgrades of cars, as well as other services applicable according to the fine print on the back of each of these, and good anywhere in the U.S. The remaining 15 coupons are specific to a few casinos in Colorado, Florida, Illinois, Louisiana, and Mississippi. As I've never used a coupon from any edition of the American Casino Guide, so I hadn't noticed this before, to use any of these coupons you'll need to cut out a discount card from the center of the coupon pages. This American Casino Guide 2019 edition discount card is around page 385. It's quite easy to find as it is on extra thick and glossy cardstock. Simply sign the back, it says, and you're good to use any of the coupons in the book. It's another reason, I guess, why Mr. Borey doesn't offer Amazon's Look Inside feature I'd mentioned earlier. But the American Casino Guide 2019 is more than just a book. It's also 1. A website, 2. A YouTube channel, 3. A smart device app for iOS and Android, and 4. A newsletter. Since 1992, Mr. Borey really has grown his American Casino Guide business. His website is quite comprehensive. Perhaps more than any other topic, it looks to be about slots. Then there is a smartphone app. I downloaded the app some time ago and have poked around in it for a while. It appears to have much the same information as the website, with one exception. Everywhere in the app, it provides links to their YouTube videos. Last but not least, there is the American Casino Guide YouTube channel. It has just under 75,000 subscribers and 136 videos. It looks like Steve and his son Matt put out a new video on YouTube every month or so. Some of these videos are very interesting. I did notice something odd about last month, however. Last month, they did something unusual for them. Steve and his son Matt interviewed someone else. This video was called How to Win at Slots, Interview with a Professional Slot Machine Player. What I found interesting, besides what their guest was saying about winning at slots, was twofold. First, Steve and Matt Borey looked really uncomfortable during the interview. From the look on their faces and the way they asked questions, it was obvious they didn't believe much of anything their guest was saying. That was the first thing I found interesting. The second thing I found interesting was the statistics on the video. After just over a month, it currently has 51,228 views, 595 likes, 103 unlikes, and 210 comments. Understand that, from what I could tell on their website, normally they would get 8,000 to 20,000 views after about 2 months. One random video uploaded over 4 years ago had 53,000 views, 168 likes, 10 unlikes, and 37 comments. That's fascinating. In summary, American Casino Guide 2019 is one of my favorite resources for slot machine casino gambling. In this review, I went over each of the 3 sections of the book, including brief articles, Google-like results for each state having gambling, and lots of coupons. Frankly, this gambling resource is one of the best available. However, it's quite apparent it isn't necessary if you have an edition from another year. To confirm this, just check out its Amazon reviews. The exception is if you want the coupons from Las Vegas. With those, you'll get back more than you spent on the book. With all that, I could wish it was better. We could all wish it was better, I think. For example, why aren't some of the best articles from the website used in the book? It's already been around since 1992. Hopefully, it'll keep growing like it always has. Remember to visit ProfessorSlots.com/subscribe to get my free report revealing the top 7 online resources for improving your gambling performance, including the one I've used as a top-tier slot machine casino gambler. Up next is the second segment of the show on slot machine casino gambling. Here, I provide a brief overview of the current state of gambling in 2 U.S. states, territories, or the federal district, emphasizing, by far, anything of interest to slot machine casino gamblers. Up first is Guam Slot Machine Casino Gambling 2018. Here goes. Guam slot machine casino gambling does not exist. Most forms of gambling are illegal. Greyhound racing is permitted, but the single dog track closed in 2008. However, city mayors have repeatedly made exemptions for small fiestas honoring Catholic patron saints by allowing mini casino table games operated in full public view. This unincorporated U.S. island territory is situated in Micronesia in the western Pacific Ocean. Guam has 210 square miles of land with nearly 163,000 residents. Didito is the largest city. Guam's capital is Hagatna. Besides being the largest island in Micronesia, Guam is the southernmost of the Mariana Islands. Since the 1960s, Guam's economy has been supported by both tourism and the United States Armed Forces. Guam is a popular destination for tourists from Japan, only 3 hours away by air. Other tourists arrive from South Korea, United States, Philippines, and Taiwan. Guam's 7 golf courses accommodate over 1 million tourists per year. The city of Tumon is the hub of Guam tourism, having over 20 large hotels, duty-free shopping, a pleasure island district, an indoor aquarium, sandcastle Vegas-style shows, and other shopping and entertainment venues. The minimum legal gambling age in Guam depends upon the gambling activity. For parimutuel wagering, it's 18. For all other forms of gambling, it is not legally set. Most forms of gambling have been illegal since 1977, with the exception of greyhound dog racing. Up next is the usually short statement about slot machine private ownership, which I've included in case you live in this U.S. territory and are considering owning a slot machine. Here it is. In Guam, the possession of a gambling device is illegal, regardless of whether or not the device is operational. No gaming control board has been established in Guam. Several attempts have been made to legalize casino gambling in Guam. Voters turned down proposals to legalize gambling in 1996, 2004, and more recently. Each time, voters have been less and less acceptable towards approving legalized gambling in Guam. In June 2006, Governor Felix Camacho reversed the decision to allow casino gambling during the yearly Liberation Day Carnival, commemorating the liberation of the island from the Japanese during World War II. Since then, however, city mayors in Guam have continued to make exceptions for gambling by sponsoring fiestas honoring Catholic patron saints. These mayoral approvals include allowing mini casino table games to be publicly available during the Guam Liberation Carnival, operating over the summer months. There are no land-based casinos in Guam. Cruise ships visiting Guam are expected to offer casino-style gambling when traveling in international waters. Other than the aforementioned cruise ships, there are no non-tribal casinos in Guam. In November 2008, the Guam Greyhound Park closed after 32 years of operation. Guam has no federally recognized American Indian tribes. As an alternative to enjoying Guam slot machine casino gambling, consider exploring nearby casino options. Guam is bordered by, to the northeast, Northern Mariana Islands. To visit my article on this U.S. territory, simply visit ProfessorSlots.com followed by its two-letter designation. My Northern Mariana Islands slots article is available at ProfessorSlots.com/MP. No information is available regarding theoretical or actual payout returns in Guam, as slot machines are illegal. In summary, Guam slot machine casino gambling does not exist. Voters have repeatedly not approved legalized gambling. Most forms of gambling is illegal, although dog racing is permitted. As Guam does not classify them as illegal, however, game rooms and pachinko parlors can be found on the island. Over the last year, there has been no progress towards legalized gambling in Guam. Remember to visit ProfessorSlots.com/subscribe to get my free report revealing the top 7 online resources for improving your gambling performance, including the one I've used as a top-tier slot machine casino gambler. Up next is the second state comprising this episode segment, Hawaii Slot Machine Casino Gambling 2018. Here goes. Hawaii slot machine casino gambling does not exist. This island state is among the most uncompromising of any U.S. state, territory, or the federal district with regards to prohibiting gambling, and they do so for solid business reasons. Hawaii prohibits all forms of gambling, including slot machines, table games, lotteries, horse and dog racing, sports betting, and even bingo. Social gaming is allowed with restrictions, which has the potential to be extended to other games, such as craps. Hawaii has not embraced gambling because there's no profit in it. Their potential increase of state tax revenue is estimated to be between $20 million and $40 million. Yet, Hawaii's tourism revenue is $1 billion. Simply put, Hawaii would suffer a significant loss of financial income if it would use their valuable land for a casino instead of what they are currently using it for, tourism. The minimum legal gambling age in Hawaii is not available because gambling is primarily illegal in Hawaii. Social gaming is the only type of gambling which can be enjoyed without breaking the law. Craps may potentially be allowed, as some view it to fall under Hawaii's legal definition of social gaming. According to Hawaiian law, social gaming is allowed when 1. All participants are 18 years old or older. 2. No corporation may benefit from the game, which prohibits the sale of food and drinks at such events. 3. All players begin the game on level terms. 4. The house does not receive a percentage of the profits. And 5. The game may not be conducted inside a business or in view of the public. Gambling in Hawaii is considered a misdemeanor offense under most circumstances. It can become a felony if an individual receives more than $1,000 per day in lottery bet income, or 5 bookmarking wagers per day with a value over $500. Daily fantasy sports has come under scrutiny from lawmakers. Legislators have gone on record as expressing their opinion that it is gambling, and therefore illegal. Regarding slot machine private ownership, the private ownership of a slot machine is prohibited in Hawaii. No gaming control board has yet been established in Hawaii. There are no land-based casinos in Hawaii. Cruise ships visiting Hawaii offer casino-style gambling if traveling somewhat away from the Hawaiian Islands in international waters. Other than the aforementioned visiting cruise ships, there are no non-tribal casinos in Hawaii. Horse racing was once popular on the islands, enjoyed by the royal family and the financial elite in the 1800s and early 1900s. The industry nearly died out prior to 1920, but made a strong, if short-lived, comeback during World War II. Hawaii has no federally recognized American Indian tribes. Federal recognition of Native Hawaiians has been proposed, but is surrounded by controversy. In essence, some Hawaiian politicians believe recognition might interfere with Hawaii's claims to independence as a constitutional monarchy through international law. As an alternative to enjoying Hawaii slot machine casino gambling, consider exploring casino options in a nearby state. Hawaii has the following less than nearby neighbors. To the east, California. To the southwest, American Samoa. And to the west, Guam. To visit any of my articles on these U.S. states and territories, simply visit ProfessorSlots.com followed by its 2-letter designation. For example, my California slots article is available at ProfessorSlots.com/CA. No information is available regarding theoretical or actual payout returns in Hawaii, as gambling machines are illegal. In summary, Hawaii slot machine casino gambling does not exist. Alongside Utah, Hawaii is one of the most uncompromising states towards legalized gambling. Why? Because there's no profit in doing so. All available land is being used to support Hawaii's strong tourism industry. So diverting any of this valuable land towards establishing a casino property would mean suffering a tremendous loss of revenue. Over the last year, there has been no progress towards legalized gambling in Hawaii. Remember to visit ProfessorSlots.com/subscribe to get my free report revealing the top 7 online resources for improving your gambling performance, including the one I've used as a top-tier slot machine casino gambler. Part 1 of the next episode of the Professor Slots podcast is Professor Slots 2019, What to Expect in the Coming Year. To ask a question, which might end up as a blog article or on a podcast episode, email it to john@professorslots.com, where John is spelled Jon, or by calling 937-696-0086 to leave a 3-minute or less voicemail. Casino trip reports about slots are also appreciated. Part 2 of the next episode of the Professor Slots podcast are more brief overviews of the current state of gambling in 2 U.S. states, territory, or the federal district. Next time, I'll be talking to you about the great U.S. states of Idaho and Illinois. That's the end of another great episode of the Professor Slots podcast. Thanks so much for listening. Show notes for this episode are now available within most podcast apps, but are also available on my website at ProfessorSlots.com/E44. I plan to have the next episode come out very soon for you, where I'll have more amazing content for the show. In a few days, it'll be the end of the year, so I want to wish each and every one of you a very happy new year. Until the next episode, have fun, be safe, and make good choices.